Welcome to our Haltech Elite Live Training session part 5 with our K24 swapped Honda Civic. In our last video, we mapped out our wide open throttle area of operation for our low cam for fuel and spark timing. Now we're ready to introduce our variable cam. The variable cam control is going to allow us to dial overlap dynamically as the engine is running. So at idle, we can have the least amount of overlap. In the mid-range, we can dial up the overlap to pick up the exhaust scavenging effect, which is going to give us better cylinder filling, which is going to improve our torque capacity and give us a broader power band. So we're going to be exploring how to go and implement all of the PID control, the setup for the actual variable cam control, and then looking at the actual mapping process to do our fuel and spark timing in conjunction with our variable cam control. We're gonna have a lot to cover in this video, so let's jump in so we can check it all out. Welcome back to our live training session here with our naturally aspirated K24 swapped Honda Civic running on an Elite 2500. In the last video, we learned how to map out our full throttle fuel and ignition timing tuning for our low cam of operation. So we've disabled VTEC in order to tune our low cam fuel and spark timing tables. We've also disabled our variable cam control, and that's what we're going to introduce into this video here. We're going to turn that on, start to make that work, and learn how to make the appropriate changes in the tables related to variable cam, and then also figuring out if it's a positive or a negative change when we move the variable cam target. So if we need more advanced, let's just say we want to rotate the cam from 10 degrees to 20 degrees, we need to know if that was a positive change or not. Now, chassis dynos are the easiest way to tune variable cam, but a lot of you aren't going to have a chassis dyno available. I'll be showing you what to look for in the data log to be able to evaluate if that variable cam movement change was something that we want to do or not. So let's jump in and start talking about the variable cam, because that's what the focus of this video is going to be. And again, this is going to be variable cam on low cam. We're going to have in our next video variable cam with high cam, so we're going to be turning on VTEC and then mapping out variable cam all in one video. So we're just going to be kind of moving through the calibration process, taking one step at a time, peeling back the layers of what you would find super complex if you're trying to tune everything at one time. We're going to make this a much more simplistic. All right, so let's go here into our tab all the way across under our tab 12. This is our VCT tab. This is going to be everything related to variable cam control. So let's talk about our tables we have to deal with here. Under the cam control intake, we're going to have our target table. The target table is going to be going and giving the Haltech the target that we want to run, or the variable cam movement that we want to be at. So 0 in the table means the neutral position of the cam. That's fully retarded. It's going to have the least amount of overlap. As we request more rotation degrees on the cam, it's going to be sending a duty cycle, a pulse width duty cycle, to the variable cam solenoid mounted onto the engine. That's going to be allowing more or less oil pressure and oil flow through the cam gear to allow it to rotate and hit that target position that we want to be at. So that's what this table here represents. It represents the target rotation of the intake cam to get to that desired amount of overlap we want to be at. So as we command more overlap and more variable cam movement here, I should say, we're going to get more overlap. More overlap is beneficial on low and mid engine RPM. As we get up to the high engine RPM, we typically have to go and bring that overlap back, and oftentimes bring it back to no overlap, 0, 5, 10 degrees on the high engine RPM. We're going to find that we have a blowback effect. So when we advance the cam, we're enhancing the cylinder filling by an exhaust scavenging effect. That's where the exhaust can pull out the residual burnt exhaust gas. It'll create a vacuum effect, and then it's going to draw out any of that residual gas. It's going to lower the combustion temperature, also drawing through and bringing in fresh air into the combustion chamber. We're actually going to have enhanced cylinder filling by moving the variable cam. So it's a really beneficial feature of an engine to have. Now, not every engine's going to have it, but a K series does have it, which is part of the reason they make really good power. They also have a really good cylinder head flow and design, but the variable cam enhances that. So we're going to find in that situation where we're going to have that exhaust scavenging effect, low and mid-engine RPM, our exhaust pressure is going to be the lowest. As we get up into high engine RPM, our exhaust pressure is going to increase. It exponentially increases. If we were to draw a line, it would start off low and then have a rapid rise in the actual line of exhaust pressure if you were going to be mapping it out and actually logging it and taking a look at it. Because the exhaust pressure increases, it's going to have a blowback effect. So if our intake pressure is at atmospheric, let's say, and our exhaust pressure is at 2 pounds of exhaust pressure or 3 pounds of exhaust pressure, if we're having too much overlap, that allows the exhaust pressure to push back into the combustion chamber rather than drawing out any of that burnt gas. That's going to actually have the opposite effect. We can lose power, so we need to rotate the cam back and have it go more towards the neutral position, which is 0. So our job here is going to be evaluating, making our cam target changes. We want to go and have more advance in certain areas and less in other areas, but to figure that out, we need to start to go and start to map things out. Now, We will find, as we start to vary our targets in the table here, we're going to find it's going to affect our fuel delivery. We need to add more fuel if we have the variable cam and a positive. Thanks for checking out our teaser clip. If you want to see the rest of this video and more than 500 hours of current EFI training we have to offer, make sure you click right here. If you want to go and check out more teaser clips from this training course, click here. And you don't want to miss any of the videos we're going to be releasing on this channel, so make sure you subscribe and click here. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you guys later.